Brace yourselves, for a battle is ready to be waged. PlayStation fanboys on the horizon, Xbox fanboys on the opposite horizon, waving their banners and flags for their preferred console of choice, ready to come together into one big all-out fanboy war frenzy. And it turns into nothing but probably one of the saddest fucking displays of bullshit that you've ever seen on the internet. Nothing but grammatical errors everywhere, fucking caps lock city, and essentially what it boils down to is everybody measuring their dick by a goddamn piece of fucking console hardware that they think makes them special. So all brain cell killing fanboy wars aside, I want to go and break this shit down statistically by the numbers and look at the big picture about this. I mean, it's kind of staggering to think that Sony's PlayStation 4 has a 70 to 90% market share just in Europe. Just Europe. Those numbers are fucking staggering. Now, there's a lot of things that we could go and bring up that attribute to something like that. The fact that the Xbox One launched there later, depending on what kind of releases and exclusives each one has. But I was just fucking shocked because I look at the original Xbox and the entire history of that, and then I look at the Xbox 360 and the entire history of that, and they did well in those countries. But that is a big fucking difference. That's night and day. Then we don't have to bring up Japan. Japan's all sorts of like, Xbox One. Look at it. Look at it. Oh man, that is good stuff right there. I'll leave this here. I'll be over here playing something that is an Xbox One. It's like, Japan, the 1 week, it sold 100 fucking units. 100 within a week. That's fucking depressing. Like, that's seriously depressing as shit. Not surprising and shocking, but those numbers are dismal. Holy fuck. I know that the state of gaming in Japan as a whole isn't all that great by comparison to every single prior console generation that came before it, just because they're having a big time market shift towards mobile gaming and shit. But 100 units, my god damn, that sucks. But again, and compare how they've been approaching this particular generation compared to the past ones. You know, in North America, it's thriving and doing just fine. There's fuckloads of titles on it, and Xbox One has a shitload of exclusives. They have more exclusives than PlayStation 4 does right now. You know, granted, and people could go and you know, debate about that because a lot of those exclusives are also showing up on PC, but they have a lot of kick-ass titles. It's just that they haven't, with the past two systems they have, but they haven't gone far out of their way to try to get some games that would engage all the people in Japan to want to invest in that system over there, just because, again, it's a lot of different people with different tastes by comparison to everywhere else in the world. So I guess they had seen that, is it really worth the time, money, and investment in something like that when we're really not recouping the cost that we want to see by like double to triple fold? But this is all interesting to talk about because it's all market research. And it's all interesting to note because this affects what developers and publishers want to go and release their titles on. You have a system with double what your competition has. So where do you want to go and release things? There's companies who are inking exclusive deals day in and day out. I know Capcom just recently, because I was talking about, is trying to release a bunch of exclusive games for the PlayStation 4. And assuming how well they do, obviously there's going to be more to follow. Like Street Fighter V being one of the biggest ones, and people are fucking pissed off hearing about that. And there's been a lot of exclusivity going on with Sony's brand as of late. Granted, you know, it's not happening as much right now because, like I said, the Xbox One has more exclusives, and if you really want to break it down, the Wii U has fuckloads more. But it's kind of crazy because the Wii U had a year head start on Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And it's only at 10 million, so, you know, a lot of people have said, oh, it's a fucking flop and a failure and all this shit, but I'm like, damn, it has the same exact numbers as Xbox One. Granted, a whole year difference, but it's just something interesting to look at whenever you're comparing those two things. Now, does it also affect Xbox One and PlayStation 4, the fact that both of them essentially have the same exact roster of titles right now? And then you have remake, oh, not really remake, but HD Remaster City going on at the moment, and there hasn't been that one big title yet. That one big fucking must-have title that's going to show up on either platform. It's really going to push the envelope for that particular generation that becomes the must-have title and the runaway success story. You know, we have not seen that. We've seen extremely great games, extremely great AAA games, and even breakout success stories of like indie games and shit, but we haven't seen one of those just yet. So that can go and affect a whole lot of things. Right now, we're in the midst of the summer. Summertime is always whenever you're seeing less and less releases because most people, like, most companies realize that motherfuckers are out vacationing, having fun, doing their shit, so you don't see as many big releases, and they're waiting and biding their time until motherfucking fall. Fall and winter are when you release everything, because that's the go-to time. That's whenever they're going to make the most money, because people are just like, it's the holiday season, it's the holiday season, my bank account's drained, and I'm in debt. You know, yeah, crippling fucking debt aside, everybody's willing to go and forego their entire fucking bank account to go and pick up whatever fucking video game systems or games it is for whoever they're buying for, or for themselves, because they're like, I can buy you gifts, and you gifts, and you gifts, but you know what? Suck my fucking dick, stick that in your fucking stocking. I'm buying myself some shit. Off to the store. And there you go. But that's the time that people want to go and release stuff, so that could be something to take shit into account. I know that Xbox One was making a big time gain whenever they had dropped the price, which made me wonder, is Sony going to follow suit and do the same thing? There's been a lot of limited edition systems, which always spurs a lot of interest and momentum to get people to go and buy those systems, especially whenever they're console bundles. But all that shit, I'm just like, wow, they have double. I had no fucking idea. And I mean, I keep tabs on a shitload of stuff in video games, but I don't ever really look at numbers all the time. Because numbers to me don't mean a whole lot, because I'm like, well, the number of sales for a system doesn't make it more fun. That's just a fucking fact. And somebody could argue, yeah, well, it does whenever it comes to online games. Not for me. I don't go online and play shit. So, there you go. But that right there, I'm like, do you have stocks in it? Do you have shares with the company? Why are you acting like your fucking dick got bigger because you hit the power button on your little fucking controller? Shut the fuck up, fucking dummy. So, that, I'm just like, they're just numbers, it's all about games, just games, like, games. See, right here? Fucking games, motherfucking games, PlayStation 3 games. People are aware that PlayStation 3 is still getting games, right? Am I the only one? Maybe I am. But there's still, it just boils down, for me personally, just what games does it have? Fucking awesome, I'll go and pick up. And naturally price, because if this shit came out, like, when the Neo Geo came out, where it was like $80 gajillion and shit, or like when Sony thought they should come out and announce a $600 game system, and then you just hear crickets everywhere, and then snickering, laughing, and then you could hear a pin drop, and it had the same exact pitch and sound as their stock value at that point. It was kind of crazy. It was just like, look at that. Ting! Dead. Woo! That was some fucking bad stuff right there. But do you think in any way that this is going to have an adverse effect on Microsoft in general? Do you think Sony's going to continue with this momentum and have a large lead going on? Because for a long time, the 360 had a huge lead. Absolutely fucking crazy. It also was released earlier too, so that helped. It was cheaper, it had a lot more exclusives going earlier. Hell, it had a lot more games in general. That was one of the running fucking gags last generation. PlayStation 3 doesn't have any games. But then, it caught up, and it's not that far behind the Xbox 360 in terms of global sales. So it took a lot of time, so could the Xbox One be the little engine that could and catch up over time? We'll end up getting more games. The fact that they announced backwards compatibility, they had a fantastic E3 showing off a fuckload of games. Are people just waiting until those games are to go and pick up the system because there's nothing out right now that interests them? I have no fucking clue. But for Sony's E3 showing, most of the stuff there that we really want to get, those exclusives, don't come out until like next year and beyond. So think about that for a second. So would that give Microsoft enough time to catch up, or will all the other third-party multi-platform titles be enough to suffice for most people? Who the fuck knows? It's a lot of shit to go and think about. There's a lot of variables that you could go and touch upon that could affect this, that, or this, and that, and this. But either way, I thought it was an interesting discussion to go and have. And fanboy wars aside, this is AlphaOmegaSin. As always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers, game the fuck on.